Hello and welcome back. Firstly, I really want to appreciate your presence here. So thank you for coming and watching this video. And I'm going to promise you the next 10 minutes are really going to be very fruitful and beneficial for you and your mental health. Now, this has been a topic which is very close to my heart and I'm very passionate about it, which is also why I am studying mental health counseling. I'm currently a master's student doing my program in this field. In this video, we're all going to talk about mental health. What is mental health, why it's important, and why our society creates a stigma around it. Are we actually taking care of our mental health? So I have a little assessment in the description which you can take in like 2-3 minutes, which will tell you what is the status of your mental health as of now, and then some actionable steps on how we can better take care of our mental health and finally take control of our life. A little statistics to show you where we currently are when it comes to mental health, how severe it is and how important it is for us to start taking care of it. The National Mental Health Survey done in the year 2015 and 16 showed that 150 million Indians needed interventions for mental health disorders. However, less than 30 million are actually seeking care for it. In India, 60 to 70 million people suffer through mental illnesses such as depression or anxiety. 50% of your mental health illnesses begin at the age of 14, and by the time you're 24, 75% of them have already been developed. According to one article by the Times of India, the burden of mental health illnesses are increasing. It was estimated that by 2030, India will have the highest number of people suffering from depression and anxiety. It was also alarming to see how India is the suicide capital of the world, with over 2.6 lakh people committing suicide every year. So now you see all these statistics are so alarming and so scary, but at the same time it makes us so much more aware that mental health concerns are growing in India and we need to start taking care of ourselves much more. I am not making up these statistics. I have actually researched and then found out about all of it, and if you ever want to know more about it, then I've linked all the articles in the description. You can search for it and see the statistics for yourself. So I know I really scared you with all these statistics, but let's come down to a discussion about it. So let me give you a few scenarios which you may have personally experienced in your day-to-day life. Do you know how there's this one friend who suddenly gained or lost a lot of weight? Or the one friend who seems super stressed out about life, constantly worrying and being anxious? Or the one who suddenly stopped socializing? Or the one who uses unhealthy coping mechanisms like alcohol and substance to deal with life's challenges? Well, maybe these kind of behaviors may seem odd or trivial to you, but deep down they hold a very significant meaning. Perhaps the one friend who has lost or gained a lot of weight might be suffering through eating disorder, and that one friend who suddenly stopped socializing with others might actually be going through something significant and have started showing symptoms of depression. Or maybe some of the others are going through trauma, anxiety, panic attack, alcoholism, substance abuse. I know these words can seem too heavy to tackle with, but I think it's high time that we start actually talk about it and reduce the stigma around all of it, so that people can actually start taking better care of themselves and actually understand that there is an underlying problem and one needs to start taking care of the problem to then see improvements. And once we have developed more awareness, we can also start taking care of people around us, so that together as a community we can start helping each other out and also uplift each other in our journey of healing. It is nothing but the state of your mental well-being. It is your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your perceptions about the world, your emotions. Your mental health consists of your emotional, psychological, and social well-being. How well you cope with the stresses of life, your ability to make good decisions, your skills and talent, if you're able to cultivate and foster deep and good relationships in your life, if you're able to overcome obstacles, how well can you navigate through this world and its ups and downs, and how well can you regulate your nervous system, understand your emotions. All of it consists of your mental health. The difficult thing with mental health is it's not physically visible to others. So if you have a physical injury, or if you have fever, or if your temperature is very high, all of those symptoms are very physical. But when it comes to your mental health, nobody is actually able to see into your thoughts or your feelings. A lot of it comes from your behavior, and that's how we know what is going within your mind. And again, as a society, we pay a lot of attention to those physical symptoms of any illness. But when it comes to mental health, because it's not visible, people are not able to understand, or maybe even you're not able to understand why you're going through these things. Even though mental pain is not physically visible, that doesn't mean it does not exist. Your pain, your suffering, your hurt, your psychological distress, it is all valid. Because of that internal traumatic pain in your mind, you feel stuck and you feel anxious and you feel depressed. And again, a lot of the symptoms of not having a good mental health comes out in your behavior, such as you want to isolate yourself, or you're chronically stressed about everything, or you keep entering toxic relationships with people, or you have unhealthy coping mechanisms, or you engage yourself too much in alcohol and substance abuse. All these behaviors are nothing but coping mechanisms to deal with your life's stresses. I know as a society, we have just not been taught on how to effectively and meaningfully deal with our stress. The reason why we engage in all these behaviors is to numb that pain that we are feeling consistently. And over time, if you consistently engage yourself in negativity and toxic behaviors, then it creates a very strong neural pathway in your mind. And over time, that pathway gets stronger and stronger, and somewhere it becomes a part of your personality and day-to-day lifestyle. But let me tell you, your authentic being is so much greater than all the stress, troubles, and worries of your life. There is an inner light within you that is going to shine so bright and affect positively everyone around you. Why society creates a stigma around mental health. Now, me, born and brought up in India, grown in a state called Odisha, in a city Bhubaneswar, nobody talks about mental health. And even in general, there is very low literacy of mental health, which can explain why people are not able to understand their symptoms or even seek out support. There is literally a lack of resources and awareness when it comes to this topic. People in our immediate surroundings as well, such as our friends, our family, our school teachers, everybody also has limited understanding of mental health, which is why people are not able to recognize behaviors and help each other out. Now again, stigma is associated as what the majority of the society cannot comprehend. And I quote this from an article written by Dr. Ashima Srivastav on stigmatization in India, and the article is also linked below if you want to check it out. She mentions how guilt and shame can trap us in this cycle and further cause us to have low self-esteem and isolate ourselves rather than owning or taking control of it. It is almost as if you're trapped in this negative cycle, and if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. Because mental health problems happens primarily in your mind, you can't physically see those symptoms. So that means let's not talk about it, let's just bury it deep, let's just not give it or pay it any attention. But that again does not mean it doesn't exist. It very well exists. Again, suppressing your emotions and burying it down deep does not help you. Yes, in the moment you can suppress your emotions, and over time, over the years, it just builds up and it comes out in ugly behaviors if something triggers you. Now, since we are talking about stigma of mental health, about shame and guilt, I want to come up and say something which is very vulnerable to me and which has affected my mental health quite a lot in my teenage years. And a little trigger warning, I will be speaking up about eating disorders. So if you feel like this is going to trigger you, then I suggest maybe not watch any more of it. I was suffering through an eating disorder. I lost a lot of weight, and very drastically, which means by extremely restricting myself. I had a strong desire to lose weight and an extreme fear of not gaining it back again. So I was engaging myself in very unhealthy mechanisms of eating and thinking. And let me tell you, eating disorder cycle is very vicious when it happens. Firstly, you don't want to eat food. You want to restrict yourself as much as possible so that you can attain that goal of being slim or fit. In all honesty, even if you reach that goal, it's never enough because it's a mental block. So for me, because I was an athlete, I just got a lot of messages from my surroundings that I was putting on weight maybe, or I was not athlete enough, I wasn't fast enough, I wasn't thin enough, I wasn't strong enough. And I think somewhere it was a personal challenge for me to be able to lose that weight, be the fit and best version of me. But I just chose a very unhealthy route to that way of losing weight. Now, there is nothing wrong with losing weight, of achieving your goals, of being healthy, of being strong, but it really matters how you choose to go about that. Restricting an extreme diet is not the way you reach towards your goals. So for me, I used to severely deprive myself of eating any nutritious meals. I would have practices, I would have like weight sessions, I would have school and classes. All I would eat was like maybe one piece of apple or something else. I restricted myself to a large extent. The thoughts are so overwhelming, especially when it concerns to the food that you're eating, that there is so much guilt and shame, and not a lot of people around you would be able to understand that. And again, I felt like I could not talk to anyone, I could not share about this to anyone, because who would understand that a 16-year-old girl playing tennis is suffering through an eating disorder? When you see people suddenly or drastically losing weight, you do not really think about those things. You just see them and you just assume, oh, they've lost a lot of weight, wow, that's great. But we never think about how they have lost so much weight, or if there is something actually bothering them or hurting them that has caused them to lose such a large amount of weight at such a short time. So my situation did get better, and one of the reasons it really got better is because I started learning more about eating disorder, what it means, how the symptoms present themselves. I started watching a lot of YouTube videos actually, and I am still so grateful to the amazing creators who put content out there about their journey through eating disorder, and I think that really helped me because I was able to connect with them and see someone else talk about and share their journeys and how they are trying to look at the brighter side of things and recover from it, which then really motivated me to go through my journey and maybe seek out help if I need it and then come out of it. If you're going through something similar, then please seek out help. You do not need to be going through these cycles. I have linked some eating disorder resources in the description below, some articles, some videos of the creators I used to watch, and some very helpful things. Well, you can identify when there are changes in your patterns of thinking, feeling, or behaving which is causing you distress, and some part of that distress is not letting you function properly in your day-to-day life. So how may it affect you? Well, it may affect you in your social relationships with your friends or family. It may affect in your workplace, your ability to concentrate, make decisions, or focus. In general, you feel a level of distress that is regularly impacting your functioning and your ability to thrive or do better. Now again, this is just a video informing you about all these different things. I'm not diagnosing you with anything. Only a psychologist or doctor or someone can diagnose you with something. So I have linked a quick assessment below. You can take this assessment in 2 or 3 minutes. Just fill out the small questionnaire, do all the details. It asks you for a zip code. You can just leave it blank. This questionnaire will ask you basic questions pertaining to your sleep, eating habits, and your overall behavior. And then at the end, it can tell you on your spectrum of life, where do you fall into and what is the status of your mental health. This is just meant for a personal use and to see on which spectrum do you lie on, if you're doing amazing and great in your life, or if you're doing not so good and you might actually need help. I know you must have heard so many people say this in the online world so many times, and I can put so many articles that have done a lot of research, and it's proven that the foundation, like literally the foundation of having a good health, mental and physical, is 3 things: good sleep, good nutrition, and exercise. I don't know what you do in your day, but you need to have these 3 things fixed before you can even go to the other levels. Nutrition. Make sure you're eating healthy and whole foods instead of fatty and oily foods. Remember, moderation and balance is the key. You don't need to restrict yourself from eating certain types of food. All you need to do is embrace balance and mindful eating, where you're including all different types of foods and also paying attention to what kind of food suits you, gives you energy, and what is your protein intake and how much you're getting of it throughout the day. Because literally what we eat is who we are. And the next, exercise. It can be as simple and as easy as you want. 20 minutes a day, go outside and walk, and that's all you need to do. Put your favorite music on, put your best gym clothes or workout attire, and just go outside and walk for 20 minutes, or just have like a quick yoga session, but do something that activates your body and your muscles and you feel energetic and lively. Literally, these 3 things you have to practice every day, and this will lay the foundation of a very healthy mind. One of the main things that really helped me change my mindset is through gratitude. Every night, sit down with yourself. You can even write down in your notes app or journal, but write just 3 simple things that you're grateful for in that day. And sometimes just the ability to be able to do the basic things like take a shower, get dressed, or even walking outside, or being able to call someone you love. These are blessings which we have. When we focus on the gratitude we have, our life seems like it's full of abundance and love and energy. and I have emphasized this a lot, and it has helped me in my journey, and I really hope it helps you in yours. And there is a lot of research which also shows that doing some type of meditation or engaging in mindfulness helps you become more observant of your mental patterns, your thought processes, allows you to be more calm and observe your emotions instead of taking action on them. It is so important to spend time with people who understand you. It can be family, it can be friends, it can be your sister, it can be anyone with whom you feel safe, you feel understood, you feel like you can voice your opinions. And if not, then maybe you can try other things like journaling, opening the voice recording app on your phone and just speaking to the phone and recording your feelings. But you do all this because it helps you process certain things, it helps you process your feelings, it helps you to sit down with it, acknowledge it, ask what it needs, and then give yourself that. There are countless people who appreciate your presence, who want to be with you, who want to spend time with you. Stop hanging out with people who don't appreciate your time, energy, or value your boundaries. Start putting all that energy into making good friendships or being with people who love and accept and appreciate you, because this will help you raise your self-esteem and give you more confidence and help you really develop a better and healthy sense of yourself and your mind. Again, you're such a powerful and divine being, and there are so many beautiful things awaiting in your life to happen. All you need to do is step into it and unleash your full potential. Thank you so much for watching, and I have linked a lot of the things in the description. Please go and use those resources. I have my Instagram linked below. DM me if you have any questions, leave in the comments what kind of videos you would like to see, what kind of things you would want me to address. And again, I really appreciate your presence here, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.